Start spreading the news.
I'm leaving today.
Tell you what, man, we are back from New York City live. Dom and Pop podcast. Pop, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you, son?
Doing good,
Christmas
doing good.
holiday spirit?
Yeah, of course. Filled with holiday cheer. Feeling good. Feeling good. Definitely. Look, New York City got the best of us, all right? We had great hosts. We had an excellent time. Shout out Cousin Robert. Did an amazing job, put together great wedding for our cousin Peter. Also put together a fantastic dinner last night. I mean, can you ask for much better than that?
That was out of a movie, that dinner.
It was incredible. Yeah. It was like pizza comes out, then the pasta comes out, and everybody's breathing heavy, and then all of a sudden, like 3 racks of lamb come out for the tables, and the lamb, and
chicken
then
parm.
The dessert comes out, and everybody's eating dessert, and then they bring gelato. It was 2 courses of dessert. Incredible.
The holiday started right.
Incredible.
We're get up to fighting weight soon here.
Oh, my goodness. We're past fighting weight. We're going to have to start cutting. But anyways, man, it's good to be back. The Commanders did play a football game yesterday. That was wasn't the main event for us this weekend, but we did get a chance to tune in, catch the game. And it was, I don't know. What do you want to start with?
It was good for a half.
Yeah, for a half.
Till our now starting quarterback went out.
Look, I think I remember.
With a mysterious set of injuries.
I remember, and I've been thinking about this. Something was set karmically into the universe when we spent the offseason discussing the QB3 battle between Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman, and it got made this headline. Mariota didn't play at all in the preseason. Jaden didn't play at all in the preseason except for one drive against the Bengals. And the whole offseason was about, should we keep Josh Johnson or should we keep Marcus Mariota? And God bless him, but Josh Johnson's got this thing about him where he ends up on a roster and he's 5 quarterbacks deep and somehow you see him play every year.
Not a bad way to make a living.
Not a bad way to make a living, but I think karmically we set ourselves up for this. And the Ravens insider looks at me yesterday and he goes, Mariota's hurt? And I said, oh, no, I don't know. This was before the game. And in my head, something about the way he asked that question, I just saw in my mind's eye that that's where we were going to end up.
Oh, I knew the minute we shut Jaden down that we were going to see Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, Mariota plays that style too, and he tends to get hurt.
Right.
And career-wise, quite a bit. So I was not, I didn't want to see it, but I'm not at all surprised that we ended up in that situation. And it's a shame, the team came out, played hard. I mean, I do like the fact that the last couple of weeks, that's what we've seen out of the guys. It gives you a little bit of hope. I mean, went toe-to-toe with, Super Bowl champs until, our second stringers, so went down. I think it's a different outcome if Mariota, not to say we would have necessarily won the game, but I think it would have been a closer score at the very minimum. Did Mariota not go out? But he did. It is what it is. Only thing that counts in sports is what ends up on the scoreboard. So,
and this ain't that team at the end of the day.
No.
Like, this ain't the Super Bowl champs team. This Phillies is a mess. Their offense is totally broken right now. That being said, you still went out there and got pushed around. Marcus Mariota don't play defense. They scored 29 on you. They got that 2-point conversion at the end of the game, which is the big headline that Eagles go for 2, so they could be up 19 for whatever that was worth.
29-10, yeah.
And then
it's a Bush League move.
I don't know why.
I don't care what justification that Sirianni gives to it or any Eagles fans in the comments. It's a Bush League move.
Oh, it's a total
29-10 at that point with like 4 minutes and change left. Come on.
But here's my thing, right? You want to look at them and go, hey, man, we're 4-10. Jaden played like 5 games this year. The whole defense is broken and hurt, and our defensive coordinator got fired, and pick on someone your own size. You want to say that. And then at the same time, this is supposed to be our division rival that we spent the entire offseason trying to go toe-to-toe with and get ready to fight, and it's just another for me, it's just another signifier of how broken this entire thing is and has gotten to at this point. And sure, you're playing for nothing but pride at this point in the year. But you know what? If you don't like that they went for 2, stop it.
Look, there's two things can be true at the same time. If you're, I just know that I equate this. I was thinking about this. Remember, Coach Hal, your soccer coach growing up, right? Travel soccer. He was I just loved the way he coached you guys. It was all class. It was like you knock a kid down, pick him up. You got to make the decision about what type of team you want to have, what type of organization you want to run. I don't think Dan Quinn's going for 2. He might now, if that situation ever happened in reverse. But whatever, you want to be classless, be classless. It's on you. You're right. We should stop it. But you want to do that? You know what? I think to be honest with you, I kind of took pride in it in a way because they were scared. The Eagles were scared. They were playing our second string, and they were scared. And they pulled away, and I guess it was probably chippy. The game was a bit chippy, and they decided, we're going to show how tough we are, and we're going to go for 2 points. Whatever. That's fine. You're better than we are for sure this year, and that's just the way it's going to be. There's not a lot I can say about it.
Would have loved to have seen...
It's classless, though.
I would have loved to have seen these teams run it back in the state that they were both in last year. Because you feel like no matter how it went this year, it was just going to be excuse fest at the end of it. But at the end of the day, year-to-year league...
Who are they missing of any significance?
This is where we're at.
If we were as healthy as they are, so just put it that way, because I don't really know. I know it seems like they've got all their main guys.
Sure.
If we were just as healthy as they are, I don't think it's 29-18.
No, I agree. Not the way it is this year.
Not the way they're playing. The Eagles are not playing that great right now.
No, I agree. End of the day, in some ways you get the outcome you wanted. You don't it's nice to beat the Eagles at this point, and you get the better draft pick. Keep it moving, man. It's tough to really get too affected by these games one way or the other at this point, because it's just like you've already grieved the season, you've moved on from it. It just the season's over.
It's awful. Just talking about the state of things, right? It's just awful. I remember I told you because we had this trip this weekend for a family wedding. Then we got Christmas Day game, which is not really going to be the priority Christmas Day in our household. Maybe if the record was different, it might have been. And then week 18 game against Philly, and everyone's talking about that getting revenge for the 2-point play. We're going to see Sam Hartman, and who knows who Philly's going to
Howell. They're going to play Sam Howell.
Philly's probably going to play.
They're going to play Sam Howell.
Yeah. So, it's going to be just not – I don't know that anything's going to be worth watching. It's just getting to the off season. It's terrible. You don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be optimism will build through the off season. Having Jaden back, I still believe in 5. I think that it's just one of those years that went tilt. I don't think anything's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see any major changes coaching wise. We'll see what he does with defensive coordinator position. We see on Hard Knocks, Joe Witt Jr. still officially the defensive coordinator of our team, by the way. He's just not calling plays. Can't imagine that'll be the case going into next year. We don't see what happens with Cliff. We haven't really talked about it. Jaden Daniels got shut down. We haven't had a podcast since that officially happened. I think we both agree that was the right decision, although it can be the right decision and absolutely suck at the same time, right? Those two things can be true.
That's the case with the whole season, right? It's like two things can be true. Everything's true this season. Things have just gone so left. And to get to the point where you got to shut Jaden down going into this game, where if you zoom out, the way the NFL made the schedules, multi-billion-dollar industry. They print money. There are very few foolproof businesses in today's world. The NFL is a foolproof business. And they said, we want Washington Saturday night, the week before Christmas, when everybody's with their families at home watching. We want Washington versus Philly because we think that's going to be the game for the division. And tell you what, it might be so close that we want Washington to play Dallas on Christmas, and then we want Washington to play Philly again in Week 18 which is the TBD week. Going into the year, that is the way the schedule was built out, and 9 games and whatever. And to have the headline be Jaden Daniels shut down from the 4 and now 11 Commanders, 4 and 10 going into the week, and we're all going, phew, at least we did that right. That is just it's awful. It's devastating, man, and that's why it's hard for me to have the optimism. And we can talk a little what's next at this point. I think the nail in the coffin for Jaden Daniels getting shut down was Laramie Tunsil getting hurt.
Injuries just keep piling up.
If there was any world where you let Jaden go back out there, you're certainly not going to let him go back out there without Laramie Tunsil out there. That's just dumb. That's malpractice. And I think now, because of what happened with Jaden and the nature of what happened to him, with him being hurt in a meaningless end of half situation with the Seattle game, and where we got embarrassed on national television.
The moment.
And then that moment, right? And then Quinn being responsible for that decision and saying, I made the wrong call, putting his hand up, whatever.
Not sure he really believed that. But
I don't think he believes it. I think he said it. I don't think he says it unless ownership probably tells him, hey, you're safe for next year no matter what. That's a conversation for later, though. And he puts the hand up. They go put him back in for the Vikings game, which, again, this whole year has just been this. And this is why you want to talk about what's next. This whole year has been this uncomfortable thing of, like, say one thing, do the other, do one thing, say the other. Like, everything is not the way that last year everything was so aligned. It was 4th and 6. You knew we were going for it, or you knew we were going to kick. You knew what the play was going to be. The defense knew what the play was going to be, and they couldn't stop it. We knew on defense, okay, we just need one stop. We'd get the stop. The way that everything last year was just exactly aligned. This year, it's the opposite. Every time you think things are going to get hot, they get cold. Everything time things are going to get cold, they get hot. Every time you think the only thing that's a guarantee is that something embarrassing is going to happen just about every week.
And look, the thing is, it's what we do as part of this podcast. It's what reporters do. I don't know. The one thing I would say is, like, reporters or the radio guys screaming into the wind saying he should play, he should play, he should play. Come on. If you really look at this situation and you look at the risk versus reward, is he going to benefit from a few more reps in live game action? Yes. Does anybody honestly think that a healthy Jaden Daniels isn't going to be an excellent quarterback? He's demonstrated that. He demonstrated that this year. He did. He had moments, even the games that people said he played poorly, you go back and you look at the highlights and you go, wait a minute. There were still some elite throws in there. There's still some elite, escapes. The first series against, Minnesota, where they march all the way down the field and then just decide to, throw up on themselves and
literally throw up on themselves, throw the ball 7 times in a row.
So, it's been a failure in coaching. It's been a failure in decision making. He shouldn't have been in that Seattle game. I think if anything, it was much less to do with the team failing Jaden as Jaden getting failed by the team. Having said that, I don't, and there's been bright spots. Laramie Tunsil's a bright spot. Chris Rodriguez is a bright spot. Terry coming back and playing as well as he has, to me, is a bright spot. Maybe you found something in Treylon Burks, maybe. I still think you need to add receivers, and we'll get into the off-season stuff. But the season went tilt, and the injuries is the biggest story to all of it. I still feel a level of, I like the fact that they've come out and played hard. You played a Philly team well into the third quarter. We were winning that game. They haven't had to, they've put out effort in a scenario where there's no reason for it. Got Dallas next.
Yeah. And to me, I'm just going to sound really negative when I say this, but it's the fact
you have the right.
The fact that they come out and they play hard, and the fact that Sam Cosmi gets on the radio and says, I was here for Rivera. The team has not quit on Quinn. The brotherhood is still there. All that stuff. It's great. At the same time, it scares me even more to a degree because they're going out, they're playing hard, they haven't quit. and they're getting spanked up and down the field. They're getting embarrassed.
But I don't think yesterday was a spanking up and down the field.
But you knew yesterday.
You look, come on. Let's be real here for a minute. Their third string quarterback got in the game. He threw a pick, which the Eagles turned into points. I think the defense was playing hard. At a certain point, your offense has to help you a little bit. Come on, like yesterday's game. Comes down to this, and this, comes down to this. The third string quarterback got in the game. That game was over. The second Mariota got hurt, the game was over. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, you don't have a chance.
It's as simple as that.
I agree. You don't have a chance to win a football game when Josh Johnson is quarterback.
Win that game.
Not against the Eagles. I agree with you on that. However, it's not. My comment is more of a larger assessment of the entire year and of.
Yeah, there's been some horrible moments.
Jaden, minor knee injury, comes back. Minor hamstring injury, comes back. Season's on the line. You're like a game below 500, and then you go on a whatever. We could talk about it forever. But it's...
No, there's moments. I mean, you're 100% right. You could pick two of them that were absolutely atrocious. The Seattle moment, Jaden's in the lineup. We get blown off the field.
Yeah.
The Vikings moment, he's back in the lineup. Granted, maybe he shouldn't have been. He forced the issue a little bit. But he was out there. He was stiff-arming guys. He was physically looked like he was okay. He was running the ball. And we got blown out of the building. So, there wasn't...
Didn't score.
Yeah. So, there's been some horrendous moments that you can't just explain away by injury. That was probably the Vikings game was probably the healthiest this team has been all year. But I think that they've never been able to gel and get in a rhythm. I don't think Jaden's been able to gel and get in a rhythm. I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, we can be gloom and doom all offseason because Dan Quinn's coming back as our head coach. I don't think Dan Quinn is a terrible coach all of a sudden. I don't believe that. Is he my number one ideal choice for a coach? Probably not. He never was. Last year was great, but I'm not going to go from thinking that Adam Peters and Dan Quinn were the greatest things that ever happened to this organization to having an off year like this and saying, well, they're the worst things that have happened to this organization. I hope it's a wake-up call from a talent perspective. I think they overrated their talent. I think they need to get more help for Jaden, and I think they need to get better on defense for sure. Hopefully it's a wake-up call. But, I think we just need to get this season over with, man. That's what's got to happen. So, Cowboys up next. We can touch on that real quick.
Cowboys up next. I don't even know
what
to say.
They lost to the Chargers.
Yeah, they're mathematically eliminated. We're mathematically eliminated. You're going to have 106 guys going out there and trying to put something half decent on tape for their next contract. That's literally all the game matters.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that they're in, with Dak and those weapons, still in a much better position than we're going to be. I don't know who's going to be on that field. I mean, you're
going to have Andrew Wiley at left tackle. Like, seriously, I think that's what you're going to have.
I think Coleman might be okay. That's what I was hearing in the presser today. That it sounded like they were pretty optimistic about him, that he could have gone back in and played. But still, Cosme's in concussion protocol. Mariota's not. I mean, and Dan Quinn's presser today, which is the day after the game, didn't sound optimistic about Mariota. I was even talking about signing quarterback off the street. Sam Hartman's bad, man. If we see Sam Hartman, it's going to be bad. But
I mean, what do you got to play Johnson over Hartman, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There was a lot of conspiracy theory going on because it was a little bit weird what happened to Mariota. He got checked for a concussion, but he somehow ended up with a hand and quad injury.
Yeah.
So, I assume he was really hurt, but it sounds like he's day to day. I don't know that they pushed the issue because at the end of the day, do you really want to win any more games this year?
Yeah. Taylor Heineke's a free agent. I'm serious.
How long are we going to go with that one? How long is that one going to last?
Dude, that would be the best. At this point, left-handed God, that's the best case scenario for me at this point in the season, is they just put Heineke in. At this point, why not? What? I did, like, it's a little bit of a joke, but it's also like, I don't want to watch Josh Johnson play football. I don't want to watch Sam Hartman play football. Why not go get the guy and just let everybody have a little fun?
Let me ask you this question. It's somewhat broad, but just maybe to turn the page, and then we're going to talk a little bit of Christmas Day, try to up the mood here a little bit. What do you think needs to be done? Take coaching changes out of it, because that's probably not going to happen, to fix this team for 2026. What are some top priority things, if you want to say top 2 or 3 things you think you would focus on? What needs to be done to fix this team?
All right, so you want to take coaching changes out of it, which is cool.
Have to,
however, there's going to be at least one coaching change, probably 2. Witt's gone, and I would be willing to bet Kingsbury is probably going to be gone.
I'm at the top, but yeah.
I would, the top priority for me is you get an offensive coordinator that's going to run an offense that's going to protect Jaden and get the ball out of his hands faster. That's number one. I don't like all this air raid stuff. I think they're going to stay internal, but whatever. The next thing roster wise for me, I think you're good on the offensive line. I think honestly, and this is probably the hottest take you could have, I would bring back Noah Igbenogany and Jonathan Jones, and I would probably roll with Samerstill and Amos.
Don't hate that.
Outside. I think Samerstill, in terms of a young quarterback 2 on the outside, is a decent option. The issue is when you run into a guy like A.J. Brown, you just don't have a guy who can cover somebody like that.
On defense, what I'm hearing from you is you definitely got to prioritize getting an edge rusher, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is like
and probably a linebacker.
Yeah, you can't go into the year with Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong as your plan at edge rusher. You can't. Armstrong had a good year. Who knows what that knee is going to be like? You got to...
And we need more weapons on offense.
We need a dog outside opposite Terry. And I'm not talking about Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is a good player.
Nah, he's kind of your Noah Brown.
Yeah.
Right.
And that guy's got to get as far away from this team as we can get him.
Yeah, well, he's cool.
You gotta add depth on offense, I think, at wide receiver. I think that would be my first move, and I would love if you drafted if you get that 5th pick or whatever. 7,
I think we're sitting at 7 right now.
Draft
we got any help so far.
Draft the best receiver available, in my opinion. And then I mean Trey Hendrickson might be available.
I could understand. I could say running it back and running back. I could live with that. I definitely agree with you on offensive line. I think they're fine there. Not to say I wouldn't, if you got a stud running back, that would hurt us, but I think the room is okay. They definitely need to get a wide receiver, no question. And I would say if Terry becomes 1B at this point, all good.
An interesting conversation is Frankie Louvu, because he's up for more money.
I think he would have to. I mean, they could extend him or just let him run his contract.
So he's on a 3-year, and he's on one of those where it's basically a 2-year, and then the 3rd year you either make an extension or you cut the guy. Yeah. It's one of those situations. That's an interesting conversation because Frankie Louvu last year is not Frankie Louvu this year. You can say that for a lot of players. That's why for me this is not an Adam Peters conversation. And you got to add a tight end.
Tight end is. I mean, they're just. And I don't know. They're like completing 10 or 12 balls a game. So, but tight ends are not getting targets now that Zach Ertz out of the equation. So I don't know. That's not encouraging at all.
You need just about every position.
But it's going to
be a complete.
But here's the thing.
Tear it out again.
Here's the thing. Regardless, and we'll have, unfortunately, loads of time. We're going to have like 30, 40 weeks
with nothing else to talk about but this.
To talk about this.
Oy.
But and we're going to have some fun. We're going to shift our focus to the NFL and through the playoffs, through the Super Bowl. We're not going to talk a lot of Commanders. We'll talk more NFL through that. Then we can shift back. But they've got to go all in. regardless of it, they've got to be aggressive in free agency. They've got to hit on draft picks. They've got to go all in because this is a make or break year. It's a make or break year for Quinn. It's a make or break year in some ways for Adam Peters. And it's, I don't want to say it's make or break year for Jaden, but it's big, right? It's big. He's got to go back to, being the star player that we all think he is.
Well, it's, I think it is a make or break year for Jaden because I think because after year 3 for a first round draft pick, you start having negotiations for your contract. And then you're talking about going.
It's make or break in the sense that he's got to stay on the field. I'd be, if he could stay healthy and let's say he struggles in points, I'd be on the page of taking more of the Trevor Lawrence approach and being in the long game for him. And that's starting to pay off for the Jags, it looks like.
Got himself a coach. That's why.
Versus saying, hey, let's cut ties there. I do believe in 5, but yeah. Anyway, we'll talk a little Christmas Day.
Trevor Lawrence approach on December 21st, the year after a NFC Championship appearance.
I don't want to be misread. I don't want to be misread.
No. I think it was an intelligent point you made. I'm just saying, look at where we are, man. It's crazy.
Let's talk some Christmas Day. Haters are going to hate. Jaden Daniels can play football. He just has to stay on the field.
100%.
And that's to me, the question mark is not whether Jaden's the guy. It's a question of, and looks like that draft class has got a lot of great guys in it, but it's a question of can he be available, and he's got to, if he's not available, it doesn't matter how much talent he has. And it's going to, at some point, that's going to start to affect him mentally too, right?
Yeah.
So,
let's move on, man. Let's talk Christmas Day. Christmas Day Bada Bet special. Let's talk a little bit of Christmas. So the Christmas in our family is obviously a special time. I think it's a special time for all families, right? But for our family in particular, we go hard, man. It's a good Christmas is a good time. We have a lot of fun. There's talk about some different games this year. There's been karaoke in years past. We'll see what goes down, but what we do know, we got all kinds of great traditions, including Punch at Crema, our Uncle Mas, who, would love it if he was listening, but I know Uncle Mas, 20 minutes. What are we, 25 minutes into this thing and change?
There's no shot.
27 minutes in, maybe we got 2.5 minutes out of Uncle Max, but we love him just the same. Always makes his timbala, which is just our dialect for Big CD, basically how you would refer to it as an
the cool thing about the way, the family's evolved is we've got the Venezuelan traditions. We've got, of course, all the Italian traditions. We've got the American traditions blended in, there's a lot of multicultural, dominated by Italians. We're not going to lie. That's the dominant
culture
factor here.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's just a great time, great food, family laughs, busting chops left and right.
Oh, yeah. Not a single wacky comment made at any point. We're going to have a good time, man.
Yeah, we're not big fans. We're obviously huge NFL fans. Not big fans of these Christmas Day games.
I hate it. I really
don't like when our team plays because, look, even if this was a really different season, in a way, they did us a solid because this game's meaningless. We don't care. It's not something it'll be on in the background. Let's put it that way. Best case scenario.
Sure, yeah.
But let's say they were, instead of, what's the math here? Let's say we were 8-7 or, 9-6.
Yeah, where pretty much everybody thought we'd be at this point in the year. Yeah.
And you lose that game on Christmas Day. I mean, it crushes your day on what should be one of the, best family days of the year. So not big fans of it, but there are 3 games. What the hell? We'll pick them.
Why not?
These are early lines, but we're going with them.
Dallas 3.5-point favorites at the Commanders. 1, 2, 3. Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Dallas. I gotta imagine. I don't know. Maybe they start sitting guys too. I'm not really sure what their injury status is. I gotta imagine that line goes up. 3.5 just doesn't seem like enough.
It's probably because they're not going to play Dak, and
think they're going to go into shutdown mode.
Why? Their season's over.
Yeah.
Lions are 3.5-point favorites at the Vikings. What do you like there, Pop?
Lions.
Yeah, Lions are going to win that one. Speaking of season's over, are the Lions? They got to be on the outside looking into the playoff hunt at this point.
We can look that up.
I think they have to
look that up.
My guess is they have to win out and get some help. While you're looking at that, two teams. Well, one team that's certainly not on the outside looking in, and then one team that has had it just about as bad as we've had it this year. Broncos, 6-point favorites at the Chiefs. Gardner Minshew went down with a torn ACL today. The Chiefs have had
falling apart.
2 quarterbacks tear their ACLs in as many weeks, one of which being Patrick Mahomes, the face of the NFL. Got to go Broncos here, right?
Yeah. I mean, Travis Kelce looks like he's going to be hanging him up. Become Mr. Taylor Swift here soon.
Good riddance.
But yeah, no, conference standings. I mean, we're recording this on Sunday afternoon. So right now, Detroit is losing to the Steelers. We'll see where that ends up. Wow. But yeah, they're the A seed currently. I guess if they lost, it wouldn't hurt them. They'd still be the 8th seed, but then they would be 2 games back or a game and a half back to Green Bay.
You know what's killing me? What makes this Commanders thing sting even worse is that literally, I mean, I wasn't right on everything, but almost all of my bold predictions going into the season were correct, aside from the Commanders being terrible.
The Super Bowl winners.
But I had the Rams. I had the Rams being the best team in the NFC, which they just lost to Seattle, and I think Seattle's a legit conversation for that. But I think the Rams are right there. I had Philly taking a big step back. I had Detroit taking a big step back. I had Baltimore taking a big step back. It's 3 for 3 on those. And all my luck went into being a hater instead of putting it towards the Commanders. So next year, I'm not predicting anybody taking a step back. That's gone.
So these will all be dated, but it's fun for us. It's late in the pod. If you're still here, what does JP say? We owe you a beer. We owe you a ponche crema.
There you go.
But Jags are up on the Broncos 31-17.
Goodness,
let's go finish watching that game. Now,
Broncos
do nothing but come back and win those kind of games. So that's interesting. And like I mentioned, Steelers up on the Lions, but it's early, only third quarters in these games. So, hell, I say we end this thing and go watch some fourth quarter football. That's not the Commanders, that won't break our heart or just depress us.
That actually matters and is relevant to the NFL. Let's do it.
Always
Without
good having the boy
ado,
home.
Goodness gracious. Good to be home.
Merry Christmas,
Absolute
everybody.
blast of a weekend.
Happy holidays.
Let's wrap this thing up. Without further ado, I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and hail to the Commanders.
Hail.